Ladies and gentlemen, the Stanley Cup.
30 years ago, Wayne Huizenga had a vision to bring NHL hockey to South Florida. Vinny and Teresa Viola has made it their mission to build an incredible fan base and to bring the Stanley Cup to South Florida. To Vinny and Teresa, I say, mission accomplished. To Matt Caldwell, Bill Zito, Paul Maurice and the coaching staff, you did an incredible job to build this organization of great players. And again, this team doesn't do it without all of you incredible fans. This trophy is 132 years old. It is the hardest trophy to win and the most iconic in all of sports. And for the first time tonight, the captain who receives it is a player from Finland. Alexander Barkov, you have the honor of hoisting the Stanley Cup.
Time the most underrated player of the NHL, no longer in the pantheon of great captains who raised the Stanley Cup. Alexander Barkov, the first from Finland to do so.
Biggest question, who's the next to be passed along?
A lot of people thought it would likely be Ekblad, but it won't be. It'll be Sergei Bobrovsky. Who has completed what will surely be a Hall of Fame resume with this Stanley Cup victory. 2 Vezinas, 396 wins, but most importantly, 16 in this playoff run. To salute Kyle Okposo, 17 years in the league. I thought he really had interesting comments earlier in this series, Craig, when he talked about players that don't get here and get labeled as non-playoff players. But this team valued his contributions, and that's a real sign of respect that he was next up. And here's another long-time veteran player in his 14th year. Oliver Ekman-Larsson is a Stanley Cup champion for the first time.
Well, you think early in the year, too, with Montour injury and Ekblad, it was Ekman-Larsson who quarterbacked the power play, played big minutes, and the end result is Stanley Cup champion.
Dmitry Kulikov, as mentioned, was drafted here. Last time he scored in the playoffs, 2016, the only players left from that team were Barkov and Ekblad. So Kulikov, who spent time at Edmonton, is champion for the first time. And there's one of the leaders. #1 pick overall, 2014, won the Calder. And now a Stanley Cup champion Aaron Ekblad.
And, you know, even the offense maybe down a little bit this year, but, man, defensively, as he does a little speed wobble there, hey, it's 34 pounds and it's over your head. You don't want to lose your balance. What a moment for him, the first overall pick.
Last year he played in the final with a broken foot, dislocated shoulder, and a torn oblique. Able to stay healthy to lift the cup this year.
Got him.
The man with the game-winning goal, Sam Reinhart, as we go back to ice level. And here against Kyle.
Alexander, first Finnish captain to hoist the Stanley Cup. What was that moment like?
I just can't believe what's going on, to be honest. I mean, it's been a hell of a ride, so yeah, it was nice for sure. I probably gonna be able to explain later, but it's nice.
Longest serving Florida Panther. Like, what do you think as you watch your teammates lift this thing here now?
I mean, it's incredible to see how hard everyone worked at this moment, and now there's no more games tomorrow, so I mean, it's unbelievable for sure.
Did you know the whole way that Verhaeghe was going to be the next to get it? Did you tell him he was second in line?
Yeah, I think he deserves it. We had a lot of players who deserve it, but Bobby is the one.
Alexander, congrats.
Thank you.
Chris.
Well, there's Matthew Tkachuk as the Tkachuk family. Emotional. What a difference from when we saw them in Edmonton in Game 4. And everything went wrong. Everything's gone right tonight.
You talk about a bold move for a franchise making that trade as Bill Zito's fingerprints all over this Stanley Cup.
Here's the guy who has the experience raising the cup second time for Vladimir Tarasenko. And at the skate yesterday at the practice, he seemed to be the most upbeat guy. And you wondered if the experience was a factor in him being able to share that. Brandon Montour and the folks at Six Nations will be celebrating all summer long as he raises the cup. Interesting that he is UFA. Will he be back? Let's go back to Kyle.
All right, alongside Matthew Tkachuk, you just took a moment there to look out into the crowd after you hoisted that thing over your head. What were you thinking?
Just thinking of my family. You know, they're the biggest reason why I'm able to do what I do. You know, my fiance, my parents, my brother, my sister. I've got such a great supports, you know, system at home, and you know, so much great family everywhere. I mean, I've got my family in Boston, my family in Ontario, my grandpa Bada in Winnipeg. Shout out to all of them, and shout out to my fans in Calgary still. You know I couldn't let Edmonton win.
Hey, a year ago, the broken sternum, Brady had to help you get out of bed in time, but I wonder what it's going to be like now having him here to celebrate it all.
He'll have to get me out of bed tomorrow. I will be in no shape to be moving too well. You know what? They're going to be here celebrating with me, and I know my brother's going to do it very soon. He's an unbelievable player, built for playoffs, and I can't wait to see him play in the playoffs and Stanley Cup Finals soon. He's too good.
Enjoy all of it, Matthew. Congrats.
Yeah, thanks.
Let's go to David and Elliott.
All right, with Okposo, 18 years, serious injuries at times. You got a new lease in life, the trade in March. Here you are, you've climbed the mountain. What does it mean to you now?
I mean, it means a lot. I wanted to put myself in the best position to win this year, and made a hard decision 3.5 months ago, but I thought that this was the best team. And I said it from the first day that I got here, I wanted to be a spoke in the wheel. And that's all I tried to do. I tried to help with some of my experience and my play, and play the game hard, play it the right way. Didn't need me to score, which was fine. I'll go play any type of role you want me to. And just to do it with these guys and how unselfish everybody is, how everybody works, just a phenomenal group of guys.
You take us through the last 72 hours. You guys were reeling. What did you say to them? What was the most important message of the last couple days?
I think I think it was the least nervous that we've been in the last week and a half. We knew that there was some finality to it. we quit worrying about the end goal. You know, the goal is obviously to win the Stanley Cup, win 4 games, and when we went up 3-0, it got in our head a little bit. So it was just come to the rink, and it's 3-3, winner take all, and we're going to put our best foot forward, and that was it. So I don't think anybody really had any nerves today, and the message for me was just relax. And you know, I played a game of 1-on-2 against my boys yesterday at home, and I started off, I kind of wasn't really into it, and then all of a sudden I'm leaking, and I just remember that boyhood feeling that I got in my driveway playing for the Stanley Cup, and I'm going to go play Game 7 tomorrow. There's absolutely nothing better. There's nowhere in the world I'd rather be.
There is a league full of players who are thrilled for you, Kyle. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Kyle?
Okay, Elliot alongside Brandon Montour. So the end of last season, you had shoulder surgery done. Was there a better test of its strength than lifting the cup tonight?
I mean, personally, I thought it was stronger than that, but no, it's heavy. But no, look at this. This place is incredible. You know, this team deserved this. The last couple years, you know, words can't describe really. But to lift that, you know, shoulder surgery or not, you know, this is worth it for everyone.
So the last 10 days, you certainly know how to make this thing interesting. How did you handle it all?
They're a good team, you know. No matter if we're up 3 or not, you know, they're gonna fight. Obviously, we would have liked to get that done sooner, but you know, this game showed, you know, all game, all season. This came down to this game, and boys showed up, and there was no question that we were going to win this one.
Lastly, you know there's a community back home in Six Nations that love you so much. They had watch parties going throughout this final. What's your message to them?
Be ready for it to come home. We're going to, you know, obviously the support I've had my whole life, obviously this team, but, you know, my family, my friends, you know, everybody back home. We're going to enjoy this, you know, for the summer. You know, do it all over again.
Brandon, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Remarkable Stanley Cup final. You know, I was thinking, Craig, last year we went through to the final 20 games. This year, same route, 27 games, and probably the most memorable, well, definitely the most memorable final that you and I have worked together.
Yeah, just the interest of Canadian team and the game's best player in Connor McDavid. The Oilers getting back to the Stanley Cup final for the first time in 18 years, back-to-back for the Florida Panthers, which in itself, especially after losing, is such a difficult feat. It had all the elements of great storylines. I know it wasn't a storybook ending for Edmonton, but you see the effects here in Florida.
David Nadillian.
Well, Chris, I know they're cheering in West Van right now for this man, Sam Reinhart. And how does this sound on the resume, Sam? Stanley Cup gold clinching scorer. That's you.
It's something you dream about. I mean, it's to cap it off like this, obviously the toughest 12 days of our lives, honestly. They pushed, give them all the credit in the world. They made it as hard as it always should be to win the Stanley Cup. We were able to stick with it. It was a long 12 days, and we obviously persevered. So nothing but positive things to say about this group.
I wanted to ask you about your family, the Reinhart family. What's it been like around them and talking to them the last little while as you went through this?
I mean, the travel they put in, like I said, the last 10 days was tough on everybody. They're back at home in their lucky spots, as they should be. I love them. I'll see them in Hawaii very soon. I can't wait to see them. I can't wait to see my wife Jess come down here in a little bit. This is a dream come true.
So Paul Maurice just lifted the cup. Tell us a little bit about seeing him, as long as he's been around, getting this moment.
I've never been a part of a group, one that's got so much direction and so much poise from the leader and himself, and then a group that wants to do it for him. He's been around so long. He's had so much success, but obviously never to this point. So we're thrilled, we're ecstatic to do it for him.
Congratulations, sir. Kyle?
Sergei, you're a Stanley Cup champion, and I just wonder what you think of this whole moment.
Yeah, it's obviously, it's an amazing moment. It's the whole life we worked for that, and we got it, so it's amazing. I want to thank God for this opportunity, for this experience. It's amazing.
Alexander Barkov handed the cup to you second. What did that moment mean to you?
Yeah, it's amazing. As I say, I was dreaming all my life for that, and here we are. I can't even believe.
How did you go about resetting yourself for a Game 7 tonight?
Yeah, that's the thing. So we have to, the true champions have to overcome the adversity. And after we lost 3 in a row, it wasn't easy. So, but we got together. We have great group of guys. We love each other, and we work for each other tonight. So, and we had the result.
How will you remember this group?
Yeah, I love those guys.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
There's Bill Zito's worn his heart on his sleeve throughout this series. Congratulations to him, Rick Dudley, Paul Fenton, Les Jackson, Roberto Luongo, his senior advisors, the coaching staff, Miles Fee, Jamie Compon, Sylvain Lefebvre, Tomo Rutu, Rob Tallis, John Kajemi, and all the staff. It does take a village to prevail. And here's Roberto Luongo, who got them marching to the beat of the right drummer to start the night.
Yeah, it's got to be a great feeling there for him.
And right back to ice level here again, David and Elliott.
All right, Sam, for a while there, the last few games, it looked like things were slipping away from this group. How did you guys pull together at the perfect time to win that elusive Stanley Cup?
I mean, this group is just, we've done it the hard way all year long, and you know, there wasn't 1 second when we didn't believe that we were going to still win this thing. So it just shows the character of this group. It's unbelievable, the guys in this locker room, and how hard everyone battles, willing to do, you know, all the hard work, all the nasty stuff to get it done, and it was all worth it.
You hear Paul Maurice said it's the first time you see you smile in 2 years.
I don't think you're going to be able to wipe the smile off my face for a very long time. This is the coolest moment of my entire life.
I wanted to ask you, what did you say to Connor in the handshake?
I just said I love him and I respect him. I mean, he's an unbelievable player. He literally dragged that team all the way back. So, you know, we're still rivals on the ice, but always going to be friends, I think.
Finally, Sam, your personal journey to get here, right? This has been a long road, and your time in Calgary, and now you're here in Florida. Why has this worked for you personally the way it has?
I don't know. I mean, there's so many things that came together with first off the management believing in me, then the coaching staff, and then the unbelievable line mates and teammates that I had to just, you know, bring the best out of me. And yeah, I couldn't do it without all the support from everyone.
The emotional leaders for this team, congratulations, you're a Stanley Cup champ.
Thank you so much. And I just want to say hello to all my friends back home. I know they're all watching, and you know, I appreciate all the support from everyone back home.
Takes a village. Well done, Sam.
That's playoff Sam Bennett. Our thoughts were with Bob Cole. It's his birthday today, the great voice of Hockey Night in Canada. It was also the birthday of the late Bill Torrey, the first president of this franchise. They started with Bill Torrey, Bob Clark, Roger Nielsen. So quite a foundation. And tonight, the biggest night in franchise history as we go back to Kyle.
Well, Carter, you went through this in 2020 in the bubble. A much different vibe here tonight. What do you think of the whole thing?
Oh, it's amazing. It feels good to win it here at home. And, I mean, it was a grind. We've been grinding for 2 years, going to the finals last year. And to get it done at home ice in Game 7, it feels unbelievable.
You spent time in the American League, the East Coast League. Now you're a 2-time Stanley Cup champion. How did you get here?
Yeah, I never thought I'd say that, but, I mean, it was just hard work and grinding. I mean, it took so much time and effort, so much support from my family, my friends, my parents, my fiance, and I mean, it's just unbelievable feeling.
2 weeks after the Cup final ended last year, you were already skating again here in Florida. Could you have thought then that this was possible just a year later?
I knew it was possible with the group we have. I mean, anything's like, we wanted it so bad. We played from training camp how we would play in the Stanley Cup final. We trained all year for this, and for it to come true, I mean, it's just so much hard work from all the guys and the coaching staff, they put in hours, all our trainers. It takes a whole organization, and I mean, everyone was just phenomenal.
Carter, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Two-time Stanley Cup champion Carter Verhaeghe. Remember, he scored the overtime goal, Game 7 last year, in the shocking upset of the Boston Bruins, and the first goal tonight in a 2-1 victory. And while all this is going on, can you try and take us into the Oiler dressing room, because you did feel this 18 years ago?
You know, it's so painful, and it does remind me so much of 2006, and the thing that you can't help but think of how hard the guys all worked. Everything you just heard from the Stanley Cup winning Florida Panthers, talking about their teammates, talking about their family, are the exact same things that the Edmonton Oilers have gone through. The level of play from so many players that burst out and played their best hockey as a group, how much you care for each other as a team, how much you care for the coaches and the players to each other, and it's just devastating. It's a memory that is not a happy one, and you feel it'll be a motivator for the Edmonton Oilers, and I'm sure for Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl.
Last year, Evan Rodrigues sent a text to his old college teammate Jack Eichel, congratulating him. Tonight we congratulate him as we head downstairs.
Evan, you're on your 4th team, 10 years, undrafted. What strikes you most emotionally about the journey you've taken to get to Stanley Cup champion?
I can't say it's been easy, but I wouldn't trade it in for anything in the world. This group, we didn't like anything easy. We haven't liked it easy all year long. It's always been hard. And, winning in 7 is a little bit more fun than winning in 4. Made a few people nervous, but 2-1 filth, it's kind of always been our DNA, and can't believe it.
Your journey, who do you think of? Who are the first people that jump into your mind?
My family, absolutely my family, my wife and kids. Sacrifices they put in the past, 2.5 months. I can't wait to share it with my boys. I can't wait for them to get out here. The amount of mini sticks we played that have ended in this scenario. We had a little mini Stanley Cup that my in-laws, sister-in-law made, and it's all been worth it. And just can't wait to see them.
Finally, Paul Maurice, the emotional leader in many respects for this team. What does it mean for him? It's been a quarter century of him behind the bench. Finally, he is a Stanley Cup champion coach.
Couldn't be happier for him. A great leader. His experience, it's what makes him so good. He's so good at reading the room, so good at knowing what we need, and he was incredible all year long, just pushing us in the right direction, knowing when to give us a kick, and knowing when to kind of let us go, and couldn't be happier for him.
Well, Evan, congratulations. You pulled all the right strings, the leading goal scorer for this team on their way to a championship in the Stanley Cup final. Congrats.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Okay, we did have that on tape, so Evan didn't miss that picture.
He didn't miss the picture.
And you wouldn't want him to miss that. Paul Maurice in the middle of it. This, by the way, the 1400th game of the season. And it ends with the Panthers lifting the cup. Paul Maurice told a story today. He was the last player drafted in his draft year. He was Mr. Irrelevant. Hardly Mr. Irrelevant tonight.
Not at all. I loved his comments about his dad and the Maurice name now, all with all those other greats. And to me, that was the most exciting thing of being a Stanley Cup champion, putting that trophy over your head when your idols that you've watched through your whole life did the same. And thinking of Gordie Howe, thinking of so many great players, Bobby Orr, you name it, Pete Mahovlich. It's one of those incredible moments that you don't get to keep the Stanley Cup, but your name gets on it forever, and that's probably the most powerful about this great trophy.
As always, Paul hit the right notes. We're going to head downstairs to the guy who beat the drum before the win.
Roberto, you waited a long time for this. What was the feeling like hoisting the Stanley Cup over your head?
I don't know. I don't really remember it. It was so amazing just looking at everybody, and it doesn't feel real right now. It's put in a lot of work, whether that's on the ice or off the ice last few years, but finally we got there, so it's an unbelievable feeling.
You lived an incredible journey as a goaltender in the net. I mean, what's the journey been like working the front office and trying to help get the organization to this point?
It's been a blast. I love doing it. You know, I love building teams. I love putting pieces of the puzzle together, making it fit, building a great group of guys like this. And just to see it pay off like this at the end is an unbelievable, rewarding feeling.
Banging the drum before the game here tonight. I mean, when was the last time you were that fired up?
I don't know. I don't think I was ever that fired up. I really wanted to. I've had a lot of pent-up emotion over the last week, so I needed to let that out.
And you had a big hug for Sergei Bobrovsky here after the game ended. What did you say to him?
Just so happy for him and proud of him, the way he responded. Obviously, the last week hasn't been easy, but the biggest moment, he came through, so it was great.
Just one final one, Roberto. Obviously, we're broadcasting back in Canada. You have so many fans in Vancouver. You're an Olympic gold medalist. Any message for the fans north of the border?
I just want to thank especially the people of Vancouver for their support. Received a lot of messages over the last 2 months. People rooting for me, so I'm truly grateful for them, and I always enjoy going back there. I look forward to going back there next season.
Roberto, congrats.
Thank you.
And for the Panthers, a moment they've been waiting for. The families are coming out onto the ice. Remember, they all took that charter to Edmonton for Game 4, hoping that was the night they'd celebrate. Did not return for Game 6. And for them, it's all worked out perfectly with a Game 7 celebration here tonight. What a remarkable playoff it's been. Joy here in Florida. And of course, heartbreak for the Edmonton Oilers with a furious comeback that falls a game short. So the 42 Leafs still stand alone.